This is Caitlin, your host of the No Sleep for Dramas podcast, where we get no sleep and survive on coffee to watch just one more episode at night. Hello, and welcome back to the No Sleep for Dramas podcast. I'm your host, Caitlin. Last week, we talked about my favorite Korean dramas of 2025. And in this episode, we are here to talk about everything else. This is part 2 of me talking about my favorite dramas of 2025. And we're going to talk about C-dramas, J-dramas, Thai dramas, all the other dramas from all the other countries. Now, if you have listened to the Teen Soju podcast for the Drama Trios End of the Year, some of these dramas will probably be familiar to you. If you have not listened to that episode or any of the other Drama Trio episodes on the podcast, you can listen to some episodes on my podcast, on the Daebak KDRAMAS podcast, and the Teen So Juicy Drama podcast. If you have not listened to my top Korean dramas of 2025 episode, you can scroll down 1 week and go and listen to that now. There are also blog posts up for both the top K-dramas of 2025 and now the top non-Korean dramas of 2025 that you can go and check out on the blog. And I, of course, used the blog post as my show notes. If you want links to any of the dramas I'm going to mention in today's episodes, please go over to the blog and check that out. I'm going to quickly do some disclaimers and things, and they'll probably sound repetitive because I said it in the K-drama episode last week, but I'm just going to repeat myself. And also, I have been saying this all year in 2025. 2025 was not a good year for me personally, mentally, as well as drama watching wise. For this episode, just like my top K dramas of 2025 episode, I do not have a top 10 for my non Korean dramas of the year either. I didn't even watch 10 2025 non Korean dramas in 2025, so I didn't even have enough 2025 specific dramas to put in this list. Just like my K dramas list from last week, I decided to just keep the dramas that were rated between 9 and 10 in this list and not try to add in 8.5 or 8 ratings or anything in my official list. There will be, of course, honorable mentions at the end of the episode for those dramas that I rated an 8.5. I also will put anime in the honorable mentions. And then I also did some rewatches. So I will put the rewatches just like I did in my K-dramas list last week in the honorable mentions as well. I might have had a top 10 if I included a combination of all those things, but I decided not to do that. And of course, we all know why in terms of why I did not watch at least 10 non Korean dramas in 2025. As I've just mentioned, I just was not in a good space mentally and personally. And that, of course, affected the dramas I was watching and the amount of dramas I watched and everything like that. I will be happy to report as of right now, I'm doing far better in January 2026 than I was in January 2025. So that's a good thing for me. I of course wanted to explore more of the non-Korean dramas in 2025, especially the ones that came out in 2025. That just was not the case. So God knows I now have a mile-long list of 2025 non-Korean dramas that I still need to check out. And God knows I definitely have had better years in my life, whether that's personal, mental, or drama watching wise than 2025 was. All that being said, though, I still watched some amazing dramas in 2025, and I'm going to highlight the ones I loved in this episode that are not Korean. If you are looking for my Korean dramas list, as I just said, you can click the link in the description. I will put my link to that episode in there, or just scroll down one episode and you will find it because it came out last week. And I am sure this list is going to be vastly different from everybody else's, except for maybe like 2 dramas, maybe 3. So please comment your favorite non Korean dramas in the comments of this podcast episode, and maybe comment some that I should probably prioritize and check out that came out in 2025. All right, the second disclaimer before we get into the list, these are in no particular order except for my top 2. I will be going from bottom to top, so the last two dramas I talk about in the list before I get the honorable mentions are going to be my top two rated dramas. I just have had watched them in 2025 and completed them in 2025. They don't have had to be premiere in 2025 and to be included in my list, but because my list for 2025 is just so wonky, it just happens to be that all of the dramas that I'm gonna be talking about pretty much are 2025 dramas, at least in my list. If your favorites are not in my list, it definitely probably means I did not watch them, which is why if you want me to watch them and have my thoughts on them, please put in the comments. And I know I missed a ton of dramas that I probably would have checked out or maybe even, like, at least put on my list to check out. Let me know some of your favorites from, 2025 that I maybe have missed or maybe, that are included in my list. I'm curious how our list will be the same or different because I can probably predict at least one drama that's in your favorites. Maybe I can't though. I make these lists every year, of course, to let you know about some good dramas that you can watch in the future. Maybe you missed them as well, or maybe you didn't check them out because they're not usually a genre you watch or a country you watch. So I make these lists to maybe highlight some dramas that I feel personally you should probably check out and maybe try as, like, your first drama to check out from a new country or things like that. Alright, so with all of that out of the way, let's get into my top non-Korean dramas of 2025, starting with my 5th in the list. Because I've watched so little in 2025, I have only 5 dramas in my list, and then the rest are honorable mentions. So this might be a shorter episode. Alright, so number 5 per se is not even a drama, but I had to mention it, and it did not deserve to be in the honorable mentions with how much I love this. I also rated it a 9.5 out of 10, but this is the Japanese variety show Offline Love. It has 10 episodes and it is on Netflix. I was obsessed with this show when I was watching it as it was airing. And I think a lot of people also watch this show, but if you like reality dating shows, please watch this one. Please do. It's adorable, and I'm praying we get a season 2. I would be surprised if we don't get a season 2 because I think it was well received, but you never know with Netflix. I know this is not a drama, but I had to talk about it. It was adorable, it was sweet, and it's just perfect to binge. It's cozy, it also takes place during the summer. If you're somewhere right now that's winter and it's cold, you can watch this and you could pretend that you're there where it's warm and sunny. I got so invested in certain people and potential couples in this show. I was sad to see that none of my favorites got their happy ending by the end, but I also have the worst luck with that when it comes to dating reality shows. My favorites never get happy endings, almost never. Hopefully that will change in some near future, but my track record is not going well. I did downrate this a bit because I did sour on one guy after something he did, and I sometimes did not like the host panel as much as some of the other host panels on some of the other dating reality shows. And as I said, none of my favorites in the show got their happy endings. That was obviously a downer for me, but still totally worth watching. You will become attached to characters. I need a season 2 right now. If you like dating reality shows or just want some romance show in your life, maybe change it up and check out Offline Love. That is a Japanese dating reality show on Netflix. I rated it a 9.5 out of 10. My number 4 is going to be a Thai drama. It is called Enigma Black Stage, aka Enigma Season 2. It is 5 episodes. It's on Netflix, and I rated this a 9 out of 10. I loved season 1. I was so excited to finally get season 2. I'm so glad it's on Netflix. You can watch, I think, season 1 on YouTube. Well worth the watch. I will say though, it is a little creepy. It is a little scary. Both season 1 and season 2 deal with ghosts and possibly possessions and the supernatural type stuff. For me, season 2 was not as scary as season 1, but it was still spooky. It still had spooky moments. I think the story and the lore of season 2 was just as good as season 1. It's a great show to watch for Halloween. Definitely would recommend for Halloween. I would say you could watch season 2 without watching season 1, but you probably should watch season 1 before you watch season 2 because you will miss some lore on especially the male lead. The female lead is different in season 2 than season 1. I personally liked the female lead from season 1 better than season 2, but the season 2 female lead isn't bad. It's not like there's a drastic difference between the two. I just like the female lead in season 1 more. I also think the male lead and the female lead of season 1 had better chemistry. In season 1, I got more of romantic chemistry. In season 2, there really is no romantic chemistry, in my opinion. Do I need romantic chemistry? No. It's really up to whoever's watching this and what they like and dislike. But the chemistry is not bad in season 2 either. It's just a different vibe, I should say. And I just like the season 1 chemistry more than the season 2. Definitely needs a season 3. I would love a season 3 for sure. I'm really curious what they would do with a season 3. But I rated Enigma Black Stage a 9 out of 10. Absolutely like this a lot. Number 3 is also another Thai drama. This is Reset. You can watch it on iQIYI. It's 10 episodes. I rated this a 9 out of 10. It's one of the few BL dramas I watched in 2025. I loved this Thai drama, but for me, it wasn't perfect, but I loved it. I wish more people watch this drama. I don't know if I just wasn't seeing people talking about this drama when I was watching it, or maybe I just am not following the right people, but I don't think a lot of people watch this drama. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I love the main couple, and you definitely watch this drama for the main couple. Their relationship is probably one of the best things, if not the best thing in the drama. Acting was great. I love the chemistry between the main couple. I hope they do another drama together. They haven't really said if they are or not, but I would be more than happy to watch them again in a drama. Like the support characters, especially how much they cheered the main couple. The secretary and the manager were amazing and very funny and adorable, and their relationship with the male leads, fantastic. I wish there was a second couple. I really wanted a second couple. And I also felt like the revenge part could have hit harder, could have been more impactful. It wasn't bad. I just wish it could have gone harder and had a more satisfying ending at the end. I also had a couple unanswered questions at the end, especially having to do with the time travel aspect of the story and Tada's character. But overall, I would still recommend this. If you have not seen this BL Thai drama, please do. Please do. Main couple is amazing. I love them. I would watch them in the drama again, for sure. That was Reset, the Thai drama, 10 episodes. You can watch it on iQIYI. I rated it a 9 out of 10. Top 2 of the year for me. There's no switching this like the K-drama episode. It is 2 and 1. Prisoner of Beauty, the Chinese drama. I'm sure nobody's surprised this is on my list. 36 episodes. It's on Viki, or at least I watched it on Viki. You can also watch it on WeTV or Tencent, whatever. 9 out of 10 for me rating. I can see why a lot of people love this, and a lot of people probably have this on their end of the year top 2025 dramas. I loved the lead couple. I loved how they complemented each other, and I loved their banter between each other. I loved how smart the female lead was. She was definitely a strategist, and I loved that the drama showed that off. I loved how the male lead had a hard exterior, but you could tell he really cared for the people around him as well as the people he was ruling, even though he came off as like this hardcore warrior guy that did not have any feelings or anything like that. I love the leads' relationship and how they opened up eventually to each other together. I loved how they became a power couple within their own right and supported each other, but also navigated the relationship a way where they weren't overshadowing each other either. They knew when to hold back, they knew when to shine, they knew when to support their partner. They had a very balanced relationship, and I liked seeing that because it wasn't a damsel in distress situation. It wasn't a male lead is stronger type situation. I felt that they had equal footing eventually by the end of the drama. I love the Wei brother group, the Wei soldiers around Wei Xiao. They were hilarious to watch, and I loved their brotherhood. The ending did seem a little rushed to me, and for me, it was too easy to get rid of the villains, especially one particular villain, because they basically did it all in the last episode, like the first half of the last episode. But still, for me, fantastic drama. Loved it. Could talk for days about certain scenes and certain things I loved about it. I did a review of this Chinese drama on the podcast, so you can go and listen to that. Highly recommend this Chinese drama. That was Prisoner of Beauty. You can watch it on Viki as well as Tencent. Rating 9 out of 10. And last but certainly not least, my top drama, non-Korean drama of the year had to be Marry My Husband Japan. You can watch this on Amazon Prime, 10 episodes, rating a 10 out of 10. What are you doing, kitty? Of course, it is like 4:30 in the afternoon and I'm recording this, and this is when she decides to have zoomies and go crazy about attacking every toy she has in the room. Why? Anyway, my top non-Korean drama of 2025 is, of course, Marry My Husband Japan. 10 episodes. I watched it on Amazon Prime. 10 out of 10 rating. I probably have talked about this Japanese drama a million times, and I could talk about it again for another millionth time. I loved this version of Marry My Husband. I love this Japanese drama. I love the couple. I love that this version was darker than the K-drama version and was not as comedic. I will say I'm probably a little biased because the K-drama version was not my cup of tea. I finished it. I liked it. But there were definitely things in the Korean drama that I wish were never there or I wish could have been done differently. So I might be very biased in this opinion because the J-drama version took out a lot of the stuff I disliked about the Korean version. So of course I'm going to like the J-drama version more. They especially took out one major part and completely eliminated it from the drama that I disliked from the Korean drama. This drama had great chemistry with the leads, had great acting, especially the villains. The villains I liked a lot. I love that it was more subtle in parts, but also way darker in other parts. It did have some comedy. It didn't eliminate the comedy altogether, but overall just had a more serious tone, which I appreciated. Love the OSTs. The villains, to me, were more insane and darker and did not lean into the comedy part. The comedy was really more centered around the main couple. But you know me, I love a good villain. The female villain in this was crazy. She was insane. Love the changes that this version made to make it stand out on its own and make it unique. I do have some minor issues with this J drama, but I could ignore those and still give it a 10 out of 10. Another big thing is I would rewatch this because I loved it so much. I don't think I would rewatch the Korean drama version. I really hope Japan keeps doing these collabs and stuff because they're a lot of fun to watch, in my opinion. That is everything I rated between a 9 and a 10 in 2025 for non-Korean dramas. So let's move on to the honorable mention. For my honorable mentions, these are dramas that I rated like an 8.5, almost a 9. These are my rewatches that I did in 2025 that I still loved, and then these are also older dramas, aka not 2025 dramas that I watched and I liked. I also put anime into this as well if I rated it high. We have the J drama A Calm Sea and Beautiful Days with You. I rated that an 8.5 out of 10. I just thought it was cute. It was sweet. It was maybe a little too sweet at parts for me, but if you're looking for a good, quick rom-com, can't go wrong with it at all. I like the historical setting of it because I personally don't find a lot of historical J dramas. I just love the main couple's facial expressions. They were hilarious, and their inner monologue was great too. Our Dining Table, this is a J-drama, a BL J-drama from 2023. I rated this a 10 out of 10. I can't believe it took me this long to watch it. I binged it in like a day and a half. You can watch the episodes on YouTube, at least that's where I watch them. It was cute. It was just cute. And then if you are a person like me who likes watching food dramas, like you're a foodie and you just want to watch dramas about food, watch this drama. It was low angst, adorable. It's a boys love drama, so it's a little different. I loved everything about it. I had no dislikes about this drama, and I can't believe it took me so long to watch it. Mysterious Love's Casebook. This is a Chinese drama from 2023. I rated this a 9 out of 10. I did a podcast episode on Tea and Soju podcast, so if you want to go listen to my review of this, you can go over there. I like this drama a lot more than I assumed I was going to. Maybe that's just me on terms of it's made for me. I love these bromance type situations. I loved the traveling around wuxia type dramas. Then you have mysteries and cases and investigation part of this drama. It was basically made for me. You should not be surprised. I like this drama a lot. Next on the list is Scarlet Heart. This is a Chinese drama from 2011. I watched this for a podcast review on the Soju podcast, so you can go and listen to the full review there. I had never seen this drama before I watched it this year. Of course, I've heard of it. It's a very classic, famous Chinese drama. Finally got around to watching it in 2025. I was surprised how much I love this drama. Yes, the age shows. Yes, it had a couple issues, but I love the complex relationships and characters. I love the progression in the story, and I can see why this is a classic. It was better than I thought it would be, and I love that I enjoyed it so much. I also watched Love and Destiny. I rated this an 8.5 out of 10. I also watched this for a podcast review, so you can go and check that out. I think it's on my podcast, maybe? I think it's on my podcast. Anyway, I like this Chinese drama also more than I thought I would. I love the main couple's dynamic, and I loved the progression in their relationship. I thought the drama turned some tropes on its head, which was nice. I did not care for some of the side couples or the side characters, and the villains could have been better, in my opinion. Also, way too many episodes. But I was also pleasantly surprised by this Chinese drama as well. Another of my honorable mentions I'm going to talk about is Creation of the Gods 1. I rated it an 8.5 out of 10. Amazing cast, great epic fantasy story. I can see why it is taking forever to make all the movies. I can't wait to watch the other movies in the trilogy. Great CGI. I wanted more lore, more gods, though. Great fight scenes. And I can see why a lot of people are talking about this and a lot of people want the other movies. Story is a little confusing due to what's going on and the number of characters, and not all of them are together the full movie, but great start to the trilogy. I need to watch the others. Now I want to talk about some of the anime before we get to the rewatches. All that I just talked about were like 8.5 or older dramas, things I did not rewatch. The animes. First one I'm going to talk about is Ameku MD Doctor Detective. This is a 2025 anime that I watched. I rated Ameku MD a 9 out of 10. This was a pleasant surprise for me. If you like anime, this is a mix between Sherlock Holmes and House, in my opinion, the American Doctor show. You would like this if you like either of those shows. Some of the cases were a bit predictable. I love the found family. Also wanted more, especially with the characters' backgrounds. I would definitely watch a season 2 of this for sure. I know there's a J-drama on Viki, like an adaptation into a J-drama of this. I still need to watch that. Also wanted more of like a big bad or an arch enemy sort of thing in this anime, but I would definitely check out a season 2. That was Ameku MD. Kaiju number 8, season 1, I rated a 9 out of 10. I enjoyed this a lot. I love the male lead. He added a lot of heart to the anime, in my opinion. It was funnier than I anticipated, though. I did not think comedy was going to be a big part of this, but I thought the comedy fit the anime really well. The fight scenes were cool. I wish Kafka, which I thought was a very cool name and unique name and had a lot of meaning behind. Kafka is the name of the main character. Obviously, if you've read Metamorphosis, you know who Kafka was and what that all might mean. I thought that was a very interesting choice for the main character's name, not to spoil anything. I wish Kafka had more moments with Mina in season one. Hopefully, in season two, they do. I have yet to watch season two, but that's Kaiju number 8. I rated that a 9 out of 10. Solo Leveling season 2, I rated a 9 out of 10. I enjoyed season 2 just as much as season 1. I loved seeing the male lead get stronger and his powers evolve. The fight scenes got more intense. The animation for the fight scenes was insane and amazing. Hated that there were so many cliffhangers because I was watching this as it aired, which I'm never doing again. Of course, we have threads in the story that were left undone by the end because we need a season 3. I also wanted more information on some of the side characters and other hunters, but still a great season, and I can't wait for more. Zenshu was a 2025 anime that was surprising to me because I went into the anime with no expectations. I love the found family. It was very tragic and emotional, but also had a hopeful message to it, which I like. The visuals were unique and really pretty to watch. I did wish we got one more episode at the end to spend more time with the main couple, but it was unexpected. It was delightful. I would highly recommend Zenshu. And then the last two things I'm going to mention in my honorable mentions are rewatches. I rewatched the J drama Erased, still rated it a 9 out of 10. I absolutely love this crime Japanese drama. If you have not watched this, please do. It's on Netflix. It's great. Still holds up today. That might be a biased review. I did a versus episode of this and the anime on the podcast, so check that out if you want a more in-depth review of either the J-drama or the anime. Cinematography is beautiful. Love the time travel aspect of the plot. Major trigger warning for the child abuse and child death in this. It's a hard subject, hard thing to watch. Acting was great. Highly recommend this Japanese drama. And then the last thing I'm going to mention in my honorable mentions is, of course, the Chinese drama Love Like the Galaxy, which I rewatched for a Tea and Soju podcast episode in 2025. I love this C drama. I enjoyed rewatching it. I still think the second half is better than the first half. As I said in the podcast review, the first half has a lot more comedy in it. The second half doesn't, and I tend to not like comedy. Love the main couple, as always. Had a lot of fun revisiting this Chinese drama, so highly recommend. If you have not watched this, please do as well. Check out the podcast review on Tea and Soju. Acting was great. I need Ule in the new drama already. That is everything for my non-Korean dramas of 2025. Please let me know some of your favorites in the comments. I still stand by my statement that even though I say 2025 was not a good drama watching year for me, I'm still managed to find some fantastic dramas to enjoy, whether those were rewatches or new ones. So let me know in the comments some of your favorites. Did some of your favorites make it to my list? And if you haven't checked out the K-drama list of 2025, go back one episode and check that out. Thank you for listening. See you in the next episode. If you want to continue the conversations about dramas that were started in this episode, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky under the username No Sleep for Dramas. That is No Sleep, the number 4 dramas, just like in the title of the podcast. This podcast is also an expansion of my blog, so you can visit my blog at www.nosleepfordramas.com, the number 4 dramas.com, and find multiple years of blog posts already available at your fingertips. All links are in the description of this episode. Finally, please give this podcast a like or a follow wherever you listen to the podcast. Leaving a comment or a review also helps a lot. We love hearing ideas and feedback from all of you. Share the podcast with your friends as well. Thank you for listening. This has been an episode of the No Sleep for Dramas podcast, and I am your host, Caitlin. I will see you here next time, and I hope you get no sleep chasing the next episode just like me. Good night.